little bit today. Okay. Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Shri Bhagavad Vacha Atatrayodashadhyayah Kshetragya Nama Vibhaga Yogo Trayodashadhyayah. So the name of the chapter is Kshetragya Vibhaga Yoga. Discerning the difference between Kshetra, the knower, Kshetragya, the known. Discerning the difference between these two. And yoga is the subject matter of this chapter. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So Krishna explained the nature of the Kshetra and the nature of the Kshetragya. Whatever you experience is Kshetra. Whatever you experience is Kshetra, and the experiencer, the subject, is Kshetragya. So who is the Kshetragya? You should confidently say, I am that Kshetragya. Okay. Theory is when you say, Gita says the experiencer is Kshetragya. But when you have assimilated Gita, to the extent that all of us here have assimilated, everything that you experience, so change your narrative. Everything that I experience is Kshetram. Every little thing. Dream world, your world of your waking up world, the mosquito bites, the pain on the shoulder, the sore throat, everything. The body which grows, the body which ages, the body which ails, the pleasure in the body, the pain in the body, your relationships, your accomplishments, your labels, every little thing that you know, anything that you know is an object of your knowledge, Kshetra. Anything. So change the narrative. Anything that I know, anything that I experience is Kshetra. Comes the next line. I am not the Kshetra. I am the knower of the Kshetra, Kshetragya. And what is my nature? That I am Kshetragya is known to me. That I am, what is my nature is to be now reiterated and owned up. What is my nature? My nature is that of the objects are finite. I am infinite. The objects are, why don't they? The objects are finite. Therefore, I am infinite. The objects are changing. I am changeless. The objects have forms. I, being aware of the forms, I am formless. The forms, all these objects have a beginning and an end. I do not have a beginning and an end. I am Anadi. All the objects have limitations. I am free from limitation. I am limitless. The objects give me Santam Ananda, limited pleasure. I am the source of limitless Ananda. This is Nididhyasana. You have to do it every day. You have to know your nature. Why do you have to know every day? Because all along, in all your life, nobody has told you you are limitless Ananda. Nobody has ever told you you are Purna Swarupa. You have always taken, even otherwise they have reiterated that you are so and so, you are son of so and so, daughter of so and so. So you are only known as so and so. You are the knower of the so and so. The so and so is your name. You are the knower of the so and so. That has to be reiterated repeatedly and as often as possible so that it becomes your knowledge. So up to verse 7, Krishna said this. Now, this is the subject matter of knowledge. And for knowledge to rest properly into our system, to own up the knowledge, to assimilate this knowledge, we need jnana yogyata. Okay? Jnana yogyata is quite simply an unpreoccupied mind. You are preoccupied with the objects. You means all of us, okay? We are preoccupied with the anatma. What is my anatma of the preoccupation? My body should be fine. I should be healthy. I should have some achievements. People should recognize me. People should acknowledge me. People should appreciate, applaud me. I should, my children should take care of me. My children should care for me. My spouse should like me. My relationships should be there. None of the relationships should go away. People should always do stuti of me. People should not criticize me. So these are. So this is my preoccupation with the anatma. We have, whenever we are trying to do serious work, particularly Vedanta, there are various types of obstacles that come in our way. So one set of obstacles is called Adi Bhautika obstacles, troubles coming from the bhutas around you. That's when vessels will drop, bell will ring, phones will ring. So these will happen. Okay, so I am preoccupied with the anatma. That preoccupation has to go, and there should be space inside. I should rid myself of all those junk and clutter that is inside, and there should be space to see my own Swarupa properly. One should be able to see it. And when I say see, how clearly? Vedanta says, Karatala amala kavat. Imagine in your palm, you have what's that? Amla fruit. Yeah, amla fruit. How clearly you will see it, its shape, size, and things like that. You should be able to see it so clearly. You should see your Atma as clearly. How do you see? Insightfully. You have no doubt what is Atma, what is Anatma. And for that to happen, one should have Jnana Yogyata. And for having Jnana Yogyata Prapti, for Jnana Yogyata Prapti, the teacher highlights 20 values. And these values are called Jnanam. In this context, Jnanam means values, virtues. Why are they called Jnanam? Because this Jnanam, even as you are cultivating and creating this values in you, Jnanam will start dawning. There is one, they will see all the values. So even as I see these, even as I'm learning these values, when I'm trying to assimilate these values, when I'm trying to live a life aligned to these values, Jnanam will start working. It will start, the space. The more this, see, it's simply like the darkness goes. You don't bring in light. When darkness goes, light is seen. In the same way, when ignorance goes, when the preoccupation with the anatma goes, you will see atma for as it is. Okay? So values given. What were the values? Verse number 8. Amanitvam madam vitvam ahimsa shantirarjavam amanitvam madam vitvam ahimsa shantirarjavam acharyopasanam saucham स्थैर्यम आत्म विनिग्रह आचार्योपासनम शौचम स्थैर्यम आत्म विनिग्रह. So whole verse, amanitvam madam vitvam ahimsa shantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham Sthiryam Atma Vinigraha. So we saw Amanitvam. Amanitvam is absence of conceitedness, absence of pride. Or using another word, humility, Vinaya, because it is also called Atma Pujaniya Bhava. You look at yourself and say, look how good I look, and how well I sing, and how well I talk. And hey, when I talk, the whole world stands still. It's the Atma Pujaniya Bhava. So your preoccupation with the Anatma increases. Then you have Manitvam, pride, your identification with Anatma increases. Your preoccupation with the Anatma increases. That is the creation of space. You have more preoccupation. So therefore, Manitvam is not a desirable virtue. It is an Amanitvam is to be cultivated. But what if you are a very accomplished person? Eh? Otherwise, if you are not an accomplished person, no big deal. But what you are true, if you are truly accomplished, you are somebody who is rated very high. Everybody, you have that. When you go, and when you are at the everybody, it happens. There are some people when they walk into the airport, everybody says, he's getting into the aircraft, everybody says, he's respected and things like that. When you live such a life, it can go to your head. So what is the antidote for Manitvam? When you have in such a situation, you have to only talk to yourself. You have to do the auto suggestion. All this is because of Ishvara Anugraha. I have perhaps got a good break in life. Were it not for Ishvara Anugraha, I would have never come this far. Don't say by luck I came. Luck is, there is nothing called luck in our Vedanta Shastra. It is Purva Janma Punya. At best, we call it Adrishtam. Adrishtam means unexpected. You didn't look, you didn't expect these. We call it Adrishtam. Adrishtam is not equal to luck. Adrishta Phalam. This Adrishta Phalam has come to me because of Purva Janma Punya and Ishvara Anugraha and the support of so many people around me. I've stood on the shoulders of giants so I could see far ahead than what the giants could see. So these kind of thought processes reduce the hold of manitvam in the system. Then we saw adambitvam. Dambitva is manitvam expressed. Manitva is inside. Adambitvam is show off. You are a show off. So you show off and you get others to blow your trumpet. You must be recognized. You must be given awards in the public. And then there is this dambitvam. It's a show off of the prize. So while manitvam is an obstacle from inside, dambitva cements the whole thing. You are a cemented, preoccupied person, hard-coded into the system, very difficult. You have to scratch the disk and install a new disk. So amanitvam, madambitvam. We come through the third value, ahimsa. Ahimsa is called non-injury to all, not just human beings, to all beings. Okay, non-injury. Non-injury at three levels. Kaika, Vachika, Manasa. You don't physically injure, you don't verbally injure, you don't mentally curse. Non-injury. Now, why is non-injury an important value? Vedanta says it is a universal instinctive value. You don't have to be educated about ahimsa. You don't have to be educated. It's an instinctive value. You ask me why? Do you want to be hurt? Oh no, no way. Even an uneducated person will say. Even an uneducated person will not say, let me check with my wife and come back. You don't want to be hurt. So Not wanting to be hurt is a universal, instinctive, and you don't have to really be educated on that. It is a natural value. So the other half of the value has to be assimilated. You don't want to be hurt. Therefore, don't hurt. I don't want to be hurt. Therefore, I don't. Hey, what if I don't want to be hurt? What if I hurt? Because the whole thing like a bank deposit. Whatever you deposit into the bank will come back to you with interest. Whatever you deposit. You deposit on the asset side, it will come as with interest. You deposit on the liability side, you will collect with interest and you have to repay them. So it is a karma phalam. If you give ahimsa to the world gives back ahimsa to you. Well, I know there are a lot of questions that we'll handle. If you give ahimsa to the world will give you ahimsa. Okay? So it is like a deposit. What if you give ahimsa to the world? Ahimsa will come back. Karma always finds you. I read a very beautiful piece. They say you go to a vegetable shop and pick up all the good looking potatoes. What happens to the rotten potatoes? They come back to you in samosas and chips. So your karma will follow you wherever you. So that way it doesn't leave you. In the same way, you deposit ahimsa, people will give you back. The world will, I will not say people, the world will give you back ahimsa. Okay. There is another word for ahimsa. That word is called titiksha. Okay. Titiksha has two aspects to it. Okay, before we go to what do you call? Why do you do himsa? Let's go to that. Let's go to the psychology of doing himsa. Why would you do himsa? See, when you are hurt, instinctively you hit back. Instinctive. A mosquito bites you. Instinctively you hit at the mosquito. You can't look at the mosquito and say, "Mosquito, don't bite me, go away." Instinctively it happens. When you are under himsa, it is natural to react. Therefore, ahimsa is part of it. Your ahimsa towards the rest of all other beings has to be a carefully assimilated virtue. It has to be assimilated. For that, one has to become more sensitive. What is the sensitivity that I cultivate? When I get hurt, there is pain. When I hurt, the other being also suffers pain. I need this sensitivity. Do you have the sensitivity? Just check. If you are a child, okay, the child was very naughty, you hit the child. Could you sleep thereafter for a long time? There are sometimes even now you can't think of something you did and you can't sleep even now. You feel, oh, I wish I had not been so harsh. I wish I had been a better parent. I could have scolded the child, but I need not have beaten the child. Okay? The child was, reading comic books before the exam. The father saw it. I mean, he was hiding it in a book and read. Father saw it, he picked it up and tore it into pieces and threw it away. Nothing happened to the child. The child continued studying, did well in life. I met this person much later in life, the person who tore it and threw it. He says, I just can't, I still, when I tore the comic and threw it away and looked into the eyes of my child, I still can't forget an expression. You are so powerful, so strong. That's why you did it, no? The hurt, the helplessness in the child's eyes rankles this person even when he's 80. When he's 80. So, if you hurt, When you hurt a near and dear one, see how you feel. Extrapolate it to the whole world. Anyone you hurt will go through pain, and if you are sensitive enough, you will feel the pain. Because the Atma, remember, Aham Kshetram, Aham Kshetragya Sarva Kshetreshu, O Bharata, the life that throbs here is the same life which throbs in every other being. Hack down a tree and look at the tree stump tomorrow. You'll feel that. Pluck a flower and look at that stump. You will feel that. You will feel that. So, ahimsa is considered to be paramo dharma. You don't want to be hurt, you don't hurt. There are two levels of ahimsa. One is, okay, we'll come to that later. We to understand it better. We'll understand it better. Ahimsa doesn't mean unconditional non-violence. Sometimes this ahimsa is carried to such an extent that there was one person who says, your house is being burnt down by another person. Step back and let it be burnt. If that gives him joy, let it give him joy. Maybe someday he will change. Is it not stupid interpretation of ahimsa? I mentally don't curse or hate anyone. I verbally don't hate or curse anyone. But if I have to lift up my arms in defense for the protection of people who are dependent on me, for the protection and defense of my country, of my dharma, of my Ishvara Alaya, I have temples. And somebody comes to break the idol. I will not say I am ahimsa, I will give you two more idols and break. That is plain stupidity. Therefore, ahimsa is not to be interpreted. No, the total ahimsa is under any condition I don't hurt. That is samanya ahimsa. But there is some vishesha dharma also. I am on the war field. I am fighting a war, defending the borders of my country. And I say I am an ahimsavadi, I will not fire. Hey, even then you had no business to join the army. There was a movie in which, the person is court-martialed because he says, I am a person who is an ahimsavadi, I cannot hit. Then the army says, okay, you are a deserter, and they court-martial him and send him out. So there you are doing a dharma. As a Kshatriya, you are protecting the borders of your country. And if that requires taking up arms and fighting, that is not considered ahimsa. If ahimsa was unconditional ahimsa, in chapter 2, Krishna would have never said, Uttishta yuddhasva, get up and fight, Arjun. He would have never said. He would have never said. He even warned against misplaced empathy or sympathy. There was in the Mahabharata episode, Duryodhana says, I will give the stakes, my mama will throw the dice. Yudhishthira says, agreed. Yudhishthira should have said, I will give the stakes, Krishna will throw the dice. Not playing on level playing ground is not ahimsa, it is stupidity. You can't play a cricket match with a country and say, you will play 15, I will play with 5. Your umpires will umpire for both of us and give us out, but for you won't give out. You can't play such games on such rules and regulations. So ahimsa is to be carefully understood. protecting one's dharma, standing up for dharma, and fighting for dharma is not considered himsa. Is not considered himsa. Extending it a little further, let's say in the battlefield, when they are fighting, there are direct damage and there is collateral damage. You shoot bullets at somebody, it might hit the target, it may also hit bystanders. So what happens? Bystanders, you will accrue some papa, okay? You will feel bad inside. Accrue from papa means you will feel bad from inside. You will accrue papa. But the papa can be neutralized because your intention was not to hit the bystanders. Your intention was to protect yourself, protect the dharma. In the process, somebody gets killed. So for that you do prayaschitta. You do it's there, at the end of the war, Arjuna is asked to do prayaschitta because he must have killed so many foot soldiers without realizing, without knowing what's their family condition. So he's asked to do prayaschitta for that. There's a karma. We do that. In fact, every year we have, in the month of Shravan, we have a function. It is called Upakarma. It is a prayaschitta karma. We say in the last 1 year, willy-nilly I would have done so many things. I may kindly be forgiven. It's annually done. Once in a year thing. Shravan Purnima, there is a ritual you can do. So there are some collateral damage. When the surgeon is doing a surgery, sometimes he has to remove some healthy tissues also, along with the dead tissues. There's a collateral damage and all these tissues are living. There is a collateral damage. There is a little himsa there. So you have to understand himsa very, very carefully. Therefore, ahimsa is for us. They are not in the army. So let's not go that far. For us, ahimsa. Then you are under threat. Ahimsa for you is not to curse the person mentally, not to trash the person. Many of us have gone through bad experiences in life. Many of us have been betrayed financially, emotionally. You have been taken for a ride. Your trust has been betrayed. And in the mind, you feel like trashing the person. So you have to run a counter program. Because when you curse a person from the mind, it is something like, when you scratch a matchstick, the heat is lit first on the dabba. That's where the heat is generated. And only then you light a wick. In the same way, when you curse someone violently, the scratch first happens here. There is a split in the personality. Therefore, rather than trash anyone mentally, we offer a prayer. A beautiful prayer, we say, he did this because of aviveka. Therefore, I am not going to give him space here. So they say, no, forgive the person. Forgive the person quite simply means, I am not going to give him free housing in my mind. If you keep remembering, last time, it very often happens. 2023, March 23rd, what happened? On this day, this person said this to me. I wish I had replied like this. How foolish of me. See how this injury thing is hurting you. It's creating a split. So when I say forgive, it quite simply means I don't give them space here. In case they've really done some harm to you, you only say that's all they know. That's all they know. It was this ahimsa that is said, forgive them, O Father, they know not what they do. So there is some raga dvesha inside which is creating pressure. Their insecurity made them do this. So you stop mentally trashing the person. And you also don't verbally trash the person. You don't curse the person. At best, have some choice. I like the, if you read Tintin comics, Captain Haddock. You look through all his profanities, they mean nothing. Good one. Bashi Bazook. Billions of blue blistering barnacles. Sea king. Some harmless words. As in Swami Chimbiran, at best he'll say, stupid fellow. Nothing more. I've not heard Swami Dayananda even not even say this. So that is what Swami Dayananda's response used to be. That's all it is. When we say Swamiji, they talk ill of you. Okay? Swamiji's response used to be, hey, that is the maximum they can go. Just ignore them. Ignore them. Don't let the thing just sink its teeth into you and run your life. So this ahimsa is to be properly understood. You don't deliberately hurt anyone. But if you are bound to be hurt, if it requires taking a preemptive action, you have to take. It is intelligent exercise of the value of ahimsa. If someone comes in and I'm doing Bhagavad Gita, they want to damage my Bhagavad Gita books. I will not say ahimsa, take the other volume and also burn. Okay, it is for some stories they show it as an absolute dharma. Just to highlight. It is called hyperbole. They exaggerate it to such an extent. Oh, you cut my this arm. Yeah, arm be cut. Idhar mara, idhar bhi maar. That is, just an exaggerated value. Because what happens if you are a person who won't hit back, and if your national integrity and things like that are involved, you may even be viewed as a weak person. So let's not interpret ahimsa literally. Ahimsa to be interpreted in each of our personal life as not deliberately hurting anyone by words, by thoughts in particular. In deeds, perhaps to some extent, to as much as defend. Okay? But as far as thoughts are concerned, words are concerned, we don't hurt. And it is in this context that they say, if you say somebody is a liar, it's himsa. How to change the narrative? He is inclined to telling lies. Himsa is gone. You have identified a certain behavior pattern. The whole person is acceptable. He is inclined to telling lies. Why is he inclined to telling lies? Because of insecurity. Suddenly you can handle with empathy. There's a lot of it. So this is ahimsa. It is called ahimsa as a paramo dharma. And if you don't have ahimsa, the space will be occupied by so many things from the past. The past will come and preoccupy, and all the space will be taken up by the past. They didn't do this for me. He didn't do this for me. I was discriminated against. I should have won the prize, but they gave 1 mark more to that person. This runs your life. It's not worth it. Okay? Ahimsa. Next one is Shanti. Shanti is not Sha, but that Aksha. Aksha. Shanti. Shanti is not forgiving here. Shanti in this context means forbearance. Okay? Now you are not doing himsa. And because of your behavior, you hope others will change. Himsa comes because of expectations. So you have lowered your expectations and things like that. Therefore, you are not doing himsa. but the other person's expectations of you continues. And when other person's expectations are not fulfilled, the person might launch into a verbal tirade against you. They can call you all kinds of names. You are not trustworthy. I believed you. You betrayed me. All these things are there and it hurts you. Okay. For handling that, you need Shama. Shama means forbearance. See, very often what happens? You say something and you tell the person, I have forgiven. Oh, I am sorry. Okay, you are not forgiven. You say, I am sorry, forgive me. And that's when, see, you have climbed down from the tree, the other person is designed to climb up on the tree. The person you are always like this, you say something and then you say, sorry, what do you take me for a fool? So you are climbing down the tree, might coincide with the other person going up the tree. So the other person may remain angry with you for some more time. Then you can't say, see, I have forgiven you, ahimsa, and then you are not having ahimsa. Sorry. These changes take time. Transformation takes time. In fact, the child must go through a gestation period of 273 days. Elephants go through much longer. So the changes, the transformation, the metamorphosis has to take time, will take time. To accommodate that, you need Shanti, forbearance. Another name for Shanti is Titiksha. With respect to all that happened, choiceless situations, you have Titiksha. Titiksha means you no longer resent what has happened in your life. What has happened has happened. You can't change them. Even Ishvara cannot change them. Ishvara can't change his own past, let alone your past. So nothing can be changed. And out of that comes a lot of sense of hurt. You say they were all Himsavadis and they expect me to be Ahimsa. Okay. So defense is another thing and being counter Himsa is something else. It requires interpretation on a case-to-case basis. But a general thing is, Shanti is Titiksha, a clear knowledge that I cannot change my past. My past is a choiceless situation. Apariharyete. Pariharam is not possible. Gone. What is gone is gone. So, aparihari arthe. It's not possible. Therefore, with regard to what has happened, I have forbearance about the results that have accrued today. I don't will or wish or waste energy and emotions trying to change things in the past. I cannot change anything at all. So Titiksha is choiceless situations coming from the past. There are so many choiceless situations. So when it comes to choiceless situations, handling choiceless situations is Titiksha. Okay. What about things that happen in future? Do you have any control over your future? You have no control over your future. You have no control over the past. You have no control over what has been served to you today, what has unfolded today. You have no control over the future. You have control over only this present moment, if at all. So regarding the past, it is called Titiksha. Regarding the future, it is called Shama. Okay? Shanti, Shama. Shama here is not forgiving, but waiting for the future to unfold. Say, if you have planted some grains, it will take time. They say, na, what that? Mali siche so gada, ritu aaye phal hoye. कबीर के दोहे माली सींचत सो घड़ा ऋतु आए फल होए कबीरा ऋतु आए फल हो. When the season comes, the fruits and the flowers will both blossom. Just because you pour hundreds of pots of water, they are not going to blossom today. An insightful understanding of this is Shama. Shama is not forgiving. In another context, it is forgiving. In this context, it means a certain resolution, a certain freeing up space inside, freeing your anxiety about the future. But what is required to be done today, you will have to do. The present is under your control. The present is under. You can't say, okay, let things happen. Somebody is not well. Okay. And you are a person who says, okay, let whatever happen, happen. I will wait for the future. That's plain stupidity. Because you have Shakti, you have Ichha Shakti, you have Jnana Shakti, you have Kriya Shakti. Your Jnana Shakti says perhaps an illness should be attended to immediately. Your Ichha Shakti says, I want the person to get well immediately. Your Kriya Shakti says, take him to the doctor right now. The doctor says, put him in ICU, wait for 3 days. Now Shama takes over. You do practice. So that this doesn't get agitated. So Shanti and Shama, what was the other one? Ahimsa and Shanti together insulate you against any kind of external disturbances. You could have all kind of external disturbances. Okay? What are there? Anything. You could have physical external disturbance. The biggest problem is financial disturbance. Economically, you're worried, hey, how am I going to meet the bill? Okay, you're worried about, some people are worried about a message not yet replied to. The blue tick has not come. That's a worry for people. So you Shanti, Ahimsa and Shanti, Ahimsa, Shanti together insulate you against external disturbances. And when insulated against external disturbances, it frees up your mind from preoccupation. That conflict-free mind is called Anasaya Manas. A Manas which is not disturbed by small things. It's not easily rattled. If it does, it comes back to equilibrium quickly. And such a mind is a Jnana Yogya Manas. It's a Jnana Yogya Manas which can absorb the teaching. It can, when the teacher reveals it to you, it works. It's like dry wood. It catches fire immediately. So Ahimsa Shanti, we'll see, introduce one more value today. Arjavam. Arjavam means straightness of thought, word, deed. Alignment at the Manasa, Vacha, Kaya. Alignment. Okay, let me tell you something. If you read our history book, what does it tell you? There was a race called Aryans who came from where? Mongolia, Central Asia. And then they invaded India, Bharatavarsha. Bharatavarsha from Kashmir downward was being ruled by Dravidas. Aryans drove the Dravidian away and established their kingdom and created Manusmriti. And how are the Aryans? Tall, fair-skinned, light-eyed. How are the Dravidians? Dark, dark-skinned, short hair. Hey, where did that African feature come into the here. Pure distortion, whereas there is nothing called Aryan race. What is Arya? Arjavat Arya. One who is aligned in thought, word, and deed is an Arya. And what is my thought? I want moksha. What is my word? I want moksha. What is my action? All my actions are aligned to dharma so that moksha is available to me without strain. Arjava. And when you are a person who is straight, Swamiji uses a beautiful expression, Swami Dayananda. He says, when you are together as a person, when you are together as a person, you are free from conflicts. And when you are free from conflicts, you are free from two of the modern day illnesses, stress and strain. Stress and strain comes because there is a thought here, word something else, and do something else. This is a problem. So there was a small incident. In the place where I was working, uh, the institution used to serve lunch to all the officers. And the cost of lunch was, a vegetarian lunch was 5 rupees. And a lunch with meat and things. I don't use the word non-vegetarian. I use the word which a diet which includes meat, fish, and things like that. It is called, that was 5 rupees, that was 6 rupees or something. Remember. And we used to complain about the quality of sometimes the food and things like that. Vegetables are not being purchased. And then the price of tomatoes have gone up, and still office is calling for bidding lowest bid. And the lowest bid, you get rotten tomatoes. There is a website which does reviews of movies and things like that. It's called Rotten Tomatoes. You get rotten tomatoes and rotten potatoes. And so then we used to go on a what do you call deputation to the person in charge, who was in charge of buying all this, and we'd say, see, this is the quality, and how can you buy all this? And the fellow used to pompously step and say, I can't take risk with the health of my officers. You don't worry, this will be sorted. Assured we will come out. Then he will call the canteen in charge and say, hey, so ऐसे ही बोलते रहेंगे यार, you don't pay more than that for tomatoes. Do you think ever you will trust this person? Say something, do something else. Will you ever trust this person again? And if it is your habit, I'm not talking about others' habit. Let's say it is my habit to be not a straight person. I'm a vakra. Opposite of Arjava is vakra. Vakra means crooked fellow. Vakra. What happens when I'm kukra? Vakra. Crooked fellow. You mix it with Sanskrit, it becomes kukra. What happens if I am a crooked fellow? I think something, I say something, I do something else. This is the first step in loss of credibility. Okay, loss of credibility, loss of integrity, loss of credibility, and loss of trust. We will have, the entire marketing is made up of, and then hypocrisy. No questions will be asked when you return the goods if you don't like. So I tell them, beware of the fine print. It taketh away all the bold, what the bold print gives. So what you should say, you should look at the fine. Returning is your responsibility. You have to return it in the same package, appropriately packed to the address, and after that they will consider a refund, which can take anything between 7 to 8 days, but without mentioning that it can take anything up to 7 to 8 months and will not be given at all. Lack of integrity. The entire business marketing is lack of integrity. There is no integrity anywhere. Absolute lack of it. And they give you a legal thing. You have to be careful. As a buyer, you have to be careful. You should be satisfied. So lack of integrity. So lack of integrity, lack of alignment is called anarya. What's it called? An anarya. You should have arjavam. It is recommended. And unless we have arjavam, we will have problem assimilating with. Three practical tips for arjavam. We'll explore it in more detail in the coming week. Three practical tips for arjavam. Always be punctual. Be on time. If you can't be on time, call ahead. And if for some reason you have to cancel and apologize. You don't have to tell all those stories. You don't have to tell. You don't have to imagine a story. I was fine till 4 o'clock. At 4:05, I had a headache. You say, see, something came up. It's good enough. I don't have to give final reasons. Something has come up. I'm sorry. I'm not able to come. My apologies. Please let me know how I can make it up for you. But if it is something where your presence is required, you will have to cancel the other engagement. Only 1% you cannot cancel. That is Yamaraja. And if Yamaraja comes and has an appointment with you, everybody will be apologetic. They'll say, oh, what? They may even cancel the appointment. Or you are badly injured or something like that. Other than that, be on time. If you are late, call ahead. If you are required to cancel up front and say, please ask, how can I compensate? If we start this, you are already on the road to Arjavan. You have given a commitment, live up to that, especially when it comes to children. I'll take you tomorrow. Don't wait for the child to remind. Take you tomorrow. Take the person. I'll get you this for sure. Okay. One more way. It happens. Everybody and his uncle will say, I will certainly make it. And like it happened. We recently had a program in which I sent out about 100 invitations. 80 people said, we will be there. We will be there. Then from the previous evening, they start. I will try to come. Hey, why didn't you say I will try to come in the first place? Why didn't you say in the first place? So rather than say I will come, you say I try to come. Or simply say I've got other engagement, I can't. Hey, if you be honest enough to say I'm not interested in this stuff, therefore please forgive. You don't have to go. See, somebody calls you for a program in which you're not interested. Then you go sit there and yawn throughout the day. You're doing himsa there. You can simply say, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I can't. So here, in our group here, we have Meghna. Meghna and her mother used to be so committed to all our sessions. Her father was not inclined towards satsang. So he will not, give you all kinds of bull for not coming. But he was very good in integrity. He will say, I will drop you and pick you up. Great it was. We found somebody who was very practical in integrity. So, in the same way, you can implement integrity in a very practical. We will look into more of this in the following. So, Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahisha Gobrahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Chobarahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Swami Dayananda Maharaj ki jai. Swami Atmatriptananda Maharaj ki jai. Ishwar Anugrah, Shastra Kripa, Guru Kripa, we'll meet again next week. This recording will be available to you again. Maybe by tomorrow itself, we'll make it available. You can listen to it several times so that it becomes your Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you, Mohan.
Om
Take
Namah
care of your
Shivaya. Om
day.
Namah
Thank you,
Shivaya.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Om Namah